All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you guys all live once again. Sorry I'm a bit late than my usual timing. Literally, on a every single day, you'd see me UK time 9:30 a.m. But today, obviously, a bit late. Spent some quality time. My entire family spent some quality time with my mum and dad and my brother for some dinner. Sometimes I think it's very important. It's very important to spend that time with your family, with your parents. To each and every one of you guys, when you do get that opportunity, spend that time with your family. Very, very important to do that. So that's why I was a bit late than my usual time frame. But yeah, a couple of really interesting topics to talk about. Aubameyang, has he been mistreated? Looks like LAFC, Los Angeles FC, not LA Galaxy. This is the other one, LAFC. Looks like there is a agreement. There's a deal agreed with Chelsea in principle. It really now depends on Aubameyang if he wants to leave Chelsea Football Club or not, potentially on a loan. Look, for his sake, probably worth it. But I'm just thinking, has he been mistreated? This is what we really need to talk about. This is what I want to see what you guys have to say about this. I feel like, we could have done a bit more with Aubameyang. I mean, there was a moment, wasn't there, where he was scoring goals. I remember those matches against AC Milan, and before those AC Milan matches, some Premier League matches where he scored as well. I believe we could have done a bit more with Auba, but sometimes you just got to ride with what the manager wants. And if the manager doesn't want a particular player that they don't fancy, well, you can't really force them. We've seen this from many managers. Thomas Tuchel didn't fancy certain players. Sarri didn't fancy certain players. Mourinho didn't fancy certain players. Conte didn't fancy certain players. It happens with all the best managers out there. So look, but I do want to talk about, has he been mistreated? Could we have used him a little bit more, knowing the alternatives that Graham Potter has been using are really been working out that well? So there's a topic to talk about there. And Joao Felix is another one that I want to talk about. There's so much that's been said in regards to Joao Felix that, he seems like he enjoys London. He seems like he really appreciates Chelsea. He's very excited. He's absolutely bought in on the project that Graham Potter has sold him. But there is a conundrum. There is a bit of a conundrum. We all hope that Joao Felix absolutely balls out for us. He cleans up for us. But that's exactly what Atlético Madrid wants as well. Because for them, if Joao Felix balls out, which is what we want anyway, then Atlético Madrid is going to charge an arm and a leg for Joao Felix. There's rumors that Joao Felix, the touted price, and don't forget, he has signed a contract extension with Atlético Madrid before joining us. There's a price that's been slapped on him, apparently. These are some of the news outlets that's gone around in Spain saying 140 million euros. So it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's a double-edged sword where we want Joao Felix to do well. Of course, we want him to do well so that he can drag us out of this mud that we're in. But then if he smashes it and we want to keep him, we're going to have to pay a premium. We are going to have to pay a premium to Joao Felix, for Joao Felix. So at the end of the day, I think if the player really wants it, and if Chelsea's interested, maybe, but at 140 million euros, wow, that is a lot of money. So these are the two topics that we really want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see each and every one of you guys after 4.5 minutes, 121 plus people live. Smash the like button, guys. Let's pump those likes. With the likes, the channel grows. If you enjoy the channel, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe. The more likes, the more this channel gets recommended elsewhere, and hopefully we get the exposure that this channel deserves. Good to see you, Christopher. Good to see you, Tariq. Good to see you, RS7, Tim B, Himanshu, Abhinav, Dominic, Luke, LK, Robbie, good to see each and every one of you guys. Great to see you guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. Exclusive, Chelsea have now reached full verbal agreement with Thiago Silva on a new contract valid until June 2024. Here we go. Fabrizio, is that right? Did that news just drop now? Oh, wow. Okay, seems like that news just dropped now. That's brilliant. Look at this. Look at the timing. Maybe I need to change the title for it, don't I? Maybe I need to change the title of the stream. 2 minutes ago. Okay. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is good news. Look at this. Sensational news, ladies and gentlemen. Fabrizio Romano exclusive. Chelsea have now reached full verbal agreement with Thiago Silva on a new contract valid until June 2024. Here we go. Draft of new deal being prepared. It's all done and agreed verbally as Thiago has given the green light. New contract to be signed. Fantastic. Wow. This is magnificent news. Really. That's a morale booster of a news. Honestly, I mean, this guy, he's the rock. He is the rock in defense. He's absolutely the standout defender for us, even at age 38. This guy is the absolute standout defender, not just at Chelsea Football Club, but you can even say in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Even in the Premier League. So this is great. Hopefully we have it valid until June 2024. So we have him for another year. We'll see what happens next year. But at least we know we've got him for another whole season. Obviously, till the end of this season and then another season. This is great. Gives me great pleasure. Honestly, it really does, which is good to see. Let's see what you guys are saying in regards to this. Breaking. Yep, we got that. Thank you so much. There are millionaires being paid huge sums of money to live their dreams. What's with all the crying? Ms. We aren't overhyping Felix. He did play only... Ms. Aren't we overhyping Felix? He did play only 60 minutes. He was good. Yeah, B, we should relax, I think. And this is what we're going to talk about. I think we should relax. I really do think we should relax. And Kuku is incoming. Felix will return to Atlético. Where would Felix play next season if we sign him? Get rid of anyone who doesn't fit the future plans. Fantastic. Barak CFC, good to see you, my man. Mistreating a player is what Tuchel did with Tammy. No player has bagged the amount of Premier League goals Tammy did since he left, and he was totally disrespected. Auba is different. He has no further impact for us. Now, good point. I have to say it is a good point. Yeah, come to think about it. Look, I was mixed when we let go of Tammy. I was like, look, he probably doesn't cut it in regards to, to put a challenge for the title after winning the Champions League. That was the goal, wasn't it? To go for the title, Premier League title. And I just felt like maybe Tammy is not the right guy. He had deficiencies. He still has those deficiencies. Let's be honest. I've seen some of Roma games. I know he's doing well over there, but he still has some deficiencies. Has he improved? Of course he has. Now looking back, hindsight, yeah, maybe he was disrespected. Look at the way Lukaku turned out. Would Tammy ever do that? Most likely not. Anyway, coming back to our story, we'll touch up on the Thiago Silva down the track. Obviously, it's going to be the big news of today. But let's talk about Aubameyang. Auba is definitely mistreated, Ms. And no two ways about it. Okay, let's really talk heavily about this Aubameyang situation. Now, look, let's be honest. Auba was brought in purely for Thomas Tuchel. It was a Thomas Tuchel wish, and he finally got that on the deadline day, summer window. Why the owners did that, knowing that they were going to sack Thomas Tuchel anyway? Literally, I think Aubameyang played only 56 minutes. He only played 56 minutes apparently under Thomas Tuchel until he got sacked. And then since he got sacked, it was always going to be a little bit gloomy for Aubameyang. It was always going to be a bit uncertain for Aubameyang. And this is exactly what has happened. But then there was a moment. Where it looked like, just quickly, I just want to address this question. Ms., when would you do the preview of tomorrow's game? It'll be later on tonight, UK time. So, yeah, approximately around 7 p.m. UK. Yeah, 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. It'll be approximately around then. That's when I'll do my preview. But yeah, there was a moment where Aubameyang, he was doing well. He was doing well for Chelsea Football Club. Let me just see if I can bring Auba's stats up. Aubameyang. There was a moment where he wasn't bad, to be honest. He was scoring some goals. Let me just bring this up. Obviously, he wasn't brought into Chelsea for a long term or anything like that. At the end of this season, he'll only have another season left. I think there was an option for another season, but of course, that wasn't going to be taken up. Yeah, look at that. Those couple of goals in the Champions League against AC Milan, they were quite crucial, of course. And there was a goal against Crystal Palace. I think these sort of games, Crystal Palace and these couple of AC Milan games, kind of came in the sort of similar period, didn't it? Yeah, so it was in October, and this was also in October. So the month of October, 1st of October, and then, as you can see here, 5th of October and 11th of October. Like, you know, he was in a bit of a roll. Goal against Crystal Palace, goal against AC Milan, goal against AC Milan. And you thought maybe something was happening, but it all crashed. It all crashed gargantuanly. Do you know what I mean? It all crashed in a amazing fashion. I wonder what happened. Like, why did Graham Potter all of a sudden, after Aubameyang doing well, just switch the button off for Aubameyang? He just didn't fancy him, and I don't know what has happened, which is the strange thing. And he continued persisting on Kai Havertz leading the line, and Kai Havertz simply hasn't worked out either. And I feel like, has Auba been a victim once again, much like all the other strikers that we had before? Lukaku as well, I'll put him into the mix. Has he been a victim of some of these players simply have not given him service either? Some of these midfielders, some of these wingers, they've just not given him that service that he needed. And there were a few times where Auba did play, and he was playing as a winger. He would play as a left-sided winger or a left inside forward. And I don't know whether that was the right thing to do with Aubameyang as well. So, yeah, and then since then, as I said, Kai Havertz has been the one favoured. There were a couple of games where Auba wasn't even used as a substitute. I remember it was against Newcastle, I think. And there were a few games, obviously, he wasn't even in the squad. So I just find it very, very strange what has happened. I mean, when you see that someone like Kai Havertz monumentally has not worked out, it's crazy that Auba hasn't even gotten a chance. And with all these new players that we've got in now, Joao Felix, Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, Sterling coming back from injury, you'd think maybe Auba's the striker to go with. Maybe he could have got something out of all this talent in and around him. Auba, look, let's be honest, man. Auba's not a stupid footballer. Like, he's smart. There's a lot of quality there. And I feel like maybe, just maybe there's an element of some level of mistreatment. But let's see what you guys have to say about it. Everyone likes the role behind the striker. Everyone does. Even Ziyech and Pulisic can play that role. He was going to be a problem in the locker room. He was deaf. He most deaf was going to be a problem in the locker room. Why do people think this, that Aubameyang would be a problem in the locker room? Can someone explain this to me? Is it because he's egotistic? Is that why? Like, he looked like he was buzzing to join Chelsea. I mean, all of that video dancing and showing, doing these things and whatnot. Yeah, strange how it didn't work out. Chelsea's problem was never the left wing. The problem was not having a good striker and a right winger. Arobi, yes, my friend, but Potter ain't in control. Low, wait till they find out many clubs are run that like that. Of course, especially with who we have for the UCL, we literally only have Havertz up front. He hasn't got a chance to play with proper creator around him to prove himself. He's not that useless for sure. This is what I think as well. I feel like Potter just showed zero respect to Aubameyang, it seems like. I know everything is amicable, like everything is nice. They've talked it out apparently, but Potter could have maybe used him. Like, and as you said in the Champions League, it's Havertz. Like, we're locked in for Havertz up front, unless you want to use Joao Felix up front, which I personally don't think is ideal. So, yeah. Oh, what was a problem at Arsenal behind the scenes? So, but I thought all that issues in Arsenal, he wasn't going to bring it to Chelsea Football Club. I really thought that was going to be the case. But like he literally did it at Arsenal under Arteta. But I didn't think he was going to bring that to Chelsea Football Club. Like what happened in Arsenal, there was a different story, something to do with his mom and, you know, breaking protocols with Arteta. Like I didn't think he was going to bring all that baggage to Chelsea. I mean, it's a fresh start. And don't forget, in between, he went to Barcelona and he did well in Barcelona. He actually did very well there. He was banging in goals. And it all kind of went pear-shaped as soon as he came to Chelsea. Because I consider myself fair and rational. Potter was quick to bench Kalidou Koulibaly and Auba, but where is the same energy for Havertz and Mount, who have been stinking up the place for months? Something smells fishy. Look, this is what I've said, right? This is what I've said in recent times, that how can you persist with some of the players that have been dropping stinkers? Not once. Like, I can understand if it's once that they've dropped a stinker. Like, these players have been dropping stinkers several times. And the fact that Auba can't get a look in, yeah. There must, I don't know. I don't know if there was a fallout. Something definitely was wrong. Against the match we had with Fulham, Auba was in Milan with his family, with his brother. Like, I don't know what's going on. Why was he given a bit of a holiday? What was Aubameyang given a holiday to go to Milan? Like, or was it to meet up with the representatives over there to strike up a deal with Milan? I don't know. I hear you, Miz, but he's caused issues at Dortmund as well. Yeah, I guess then the question lies, why did the owners get this guy? I really think Datro Fofana must get a run of games now. Will he be any poorer than Havertz? This is what I said in the Premier League. Obviously, I'm going to do the preview later on tonight, UK time. And in my preview, I'm going to have David Datro Fofana for the Premier League. I know it's not going to happen. I'm pretty certain it's going to be Kai Havertz. But I would definitely have David Datro Fofana. So, yeah, I think we're selling ourselves a bit short. But look, Kai Havertz. One thing Kai Havertz can never ever complain at Chelsea Football Club is that I was never given an opportunity. Kai can never ever say, I have never been given an opportunity at Chelsea Football Club, because he has. He's been given a ton of opportunities. Now, I guess same notion has to be said for Kai Havertz as well. Kai hasn't probably played with good quality in and around him, and now he gets the opportunity to do so. Joao Felix, Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk. Let's see what Kai is capable of doing. Let's see what Kai is capable of doing. Tim B, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. It's not easy. Someone had to be benched. Who else? I would have benched Kai Havertz, to be honest. I would have benched Kai Havertz. I would have started Aubameyang. And then I would have looked to maybe have David Datro Fofana still sort of adapting to the Premier League, adapting to the club first, Maybe just start off training outside of the squad, but start off training. Yeah, look, there's a lot of players that are going to miss out now as well. Christian Pulisic is coming back. Obviously, Raheem Sterling is back. Ruben Loftus. There's going to be a lot of players still going to miss out. So you've got to make these hard decisions. I probably would have kept David Datra Fofana out for a little bit just so that he could adapt. But I know, I get it. Obviously, in the little bits and pieces, minutes that we've seen of David Datra Fofana, he's looked pretty decent. Now we're probably at a stage where we're saying maybe he needs to get an opportunity ahead of Havertz. We can't speculate about Auba being a bad egg behind the scenes when there has been nothing to show or suggest that. This guy is not a bum. Potter, for whatever reason, just doesn't fancy him. Well said. There's actually been no articles. Matt Law has, he's literally come out in his article said when Auba was basically not in the Champions League team and he wasn't in the Premier League squad as well against Fulham. Matt Law has said there's no bad blood between Potter and Aubameyang, and Aubameyang has not done anything wrong. So you're right, in life, no minutes. Like, Auba's done nothing wrong. Just a victim of circumstance, I suppose. Just a victim of circumstance. Top Dog RLG, thanks so much for the super chat, my man. Miz, do you think Osimhen would be a good signing? I will have PTSD with Serie A strikers for the rest of my life. Thanks to Lukaku. I rate Osimhen, but at the price being reported, I'm skeptical. I think he will be a good signing. Don't forget, people forget Osimhen was killing it in French Ligue 1. I'm pretty sure he was Lille striker. I'm pretty certain Osimhen used to be a Lille striker. He used to play for Lille. And he was ripping it apart there. Don't forget that. Don't just look at the Serie A. And look, okay, he's killing it in Serie A as well. What's bad about that? What's bad about that? I mean, we can't just compare everything with Lukaku, right? We can't compare everything with Lukaku. Ibrahimovic killed it over there, and Ibrahimovic did well in the Premier League as well. There's been many instances where players have done well. So Osimhen, I think he's one of the best strikers in the world. If we sign him, yes, of course, it would be fantastic. But I can't see how this happens because it's going to be a monumental fee. And on top of that, many clubs are interested. As I said, he's one of the best strikers going around. I don't even know if Napoli would actually even sell him. Napoli is not one of those clubs that they're not your traditional selling clubs. Do you know what I mean? They're not your Dortmunds and stuff like that they sell. I'm pretty sure Napoli will be looking to dominate Serie A for years to come. Big shout for the Champions League as well. But yeah, I don't think Osimhen with the level of, and don't forget Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis. Like, it's long, absolutely long. Can you imagine how bad it's going to look on owners if they sell Mount and Havertz? Telling you now it would explode the fan base. Potter too scared to drop them simples. I think there is an element of being scared about the backlash. I feel. I don't know about you guys. I honestly feel Graham Potter, there is an element of backlash because he knows how protected some of these players are in the fan base, by journalists. Certainly Mason Mount, very protected species. So, maybe he's avoiding that. Maybe he knows that the club, there's already a lot on the plate, He doesn't want to add to that. And let's not forget, some of these managers, they really appreciate when a player does well in the training ground. And Mount's been a particular player that's always trained well. So it's always difficult. All right, let's talk a little bit about Joao Felix now, ladies and gentlemen. I would take Tony over Osimhen, to be honest, but the betting scandal has put me off on him. Yeah, look, if it's a Premier League level player, I would also go for Tony. I said Tony a couple of seasons ago. Actually, no, early last season, I made a video that Ivan Toney is one of the players to go for. But yeah, now with the betting scandal, it's too difficult, way too difficult. Top Dog RLG, thank you once again for the super chat. I don't subscribe to Premier League is so much better than Serie A, Liga, etc. But there's no denying that teams in the Premier League play with a very low block. We need a striker that can create goals out of nothing. I think Osimhen can. Osimhen is about pace and power as well. He's very physical. He's a very, very talented striker, man. I think he would be a hit in the Premier League. I personally think he would be a hit. Now, let's talk a little bit about Joao Felix. Ladies and gentlemen, Joao Felix has literally only played about 60 minutes before he got suspended. As much as I love him and I want him to stay at Chelsea Football Club, of course, I was actually advocating for him to stay. But I feel like now the fan base are just, once again, getting to that level where they're just hyping him up unnecessarily. Like he's only played 60 minutes for us. And some parts of the fan base are moving like, with hook or crook, we got to keep Felix. We have to. He's a must. What happens if Felix doesn't produce the way we expect him to produce? What happens then? He's on a very high, loan package with us. We just need to see this through. Let's stay patient. Let's check it out. Hope he bangs for us. And then we can put ourselves into a conversation in regards to let's buy him. But in this next few months, if he doesn't perform the way we want him to perform, I mean, some of these Spanish media out there touting like 140 million euros. Do you know what I mean? Like if he performs, if he does well. He's got a long-term contract with Atlético Madrid. But the player is definitely keen. The player seems like genuinely he's very much liking his time here at Chelsea. He's really liking the way Chelsea's moving. He definitely is sold in regards to the project. So I feel like we just need to calm down in regards to Joao Felix. We need to calm ourselves down. Don't forget, there is Nkunku. Kai Havertz will have to leave. Like, if we want to pursue Joao Felix, which I think we should, he's a quality player. But once again, we need to see how the season pans out. But if the season pans out the way we want it to pan out, then Kai Havertz has got to go. We can't have Nkunku, Joao Felix, Kai Havertz, all of these players that love playing behind a striker. And then if Atlético does prize the player at 140 million euros, I mean, at 140 million euros, is that worth it? Is that worth it for Joao Felix? Is that the right bang for money? Knowing you got Nkunku for, 65 million euros? Something like that, or 65 million pounds? And potentially Nkunku is probably the better player, more rounded player. President Jafar, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. The same fans protecting Havertz and Mount diehard are the same fans that would complain about player power. Yeah, that's a cheeky one. Cheeky super chat, man. Top Dog RLG, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. If he keeps playing like he did at Fulham, 100%. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously his performance, Joao Felix's performance was brilliant. He just deserved a goal and an assist in that particular game, but minus the red card. If he keeps playing the way he did at Fulham, minus the red card. Everything minus the red card. If he has that level of impact and he scores goals and he assists, I think we're gonna have to entertain it. Mavial, Miz, is Kai that protected though? He gets blasted even when he's our top goal scorer in the Porto. Now you're right, he's not that much protected. The English media smashes him. I'm not gonna lie. You're right. He's not that much protected. It's so much easier to talk about Joao Felix as opposed to Mason Mount. So you're right. Miz, keep in mind we need 2 10s because the UEFA schedule is changing to add more games. We need more depth. 2 left wing back, 2 right wing backs, etc. Fair call. And this is why I'm open to have both Joao Felix and Nkunku, but Havertz got to go in that. I think Havertz, in any case, has to go anyway. If Havertz doesn't change his season around monumentally, I think he'll have to go anyway. But then, there's talks about Osimhen, there's talks about another midfielder in the likes of Declan Rice. All of this will cost money. Joao Felix will cost a lot of money. I don't know how we're going to fit all of this in now that we can't do those long-term contracts anymore. They're going to clamp up on that come the summer window. Stupidity of this fan base never fails to amaze me. People in love with Felix after 46 minutes and hate people who have been here longer and part of our history. If he does well, keep. If not, don't. Simple. Now, you're right. Look, the match against Fulham, bar the red card, he was standout attacker. Without a doubt. As soon as the match started, Joao Felix was the standout attacker. I think the fan base is doing a bit too much now. Balak CFC is right, and some of you guys are I think we're doing a bit too much with Joao Felix. Sign him up, hook or crook. Let's see how the season finishes. Let's see he turns out to be the player that we want him to be. We can't just sit now after 60 minutes against Fulham and go, do you know what? Sign him up permanently. Make sure you 100% do that. Time will tell. T1, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Felix also had some big misses in that game on Mount and Kai. I remember Arteta kept sticking to stuff that was just driving AFC fans crazy, that now is proven right and paying dividends like Nketiah and Xhaka. Look, I mean, if it ever turns out to be like that, fantastic. But, I mean, is it going to turn out like that? Havertz has been part of the Chelsea setup for a while now. This is his third season and he's still not clicking. Do you know what I mean? Clicking to the level that we want. And some people will say, oh, he's top goal scorer for Chelsea. I mean, we barely score goals. What does it matter? If he was top goal scorer for Chelsea Football Club right now, you'd think maybe he's already got 10 goals, 10 Premier League goals. Do you know what I mean? But that's not the case. So he's got to click. And there's so much of Havertz's game that's got to get better. Similar with Mount as well. He seems like he regressed. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Some of these players like Nketiah and Xhaka, they've found a new lease of life, haven't they? But it's not always going to be the case. Just because it worked out for Arsenal, that doesn't mean it's going to 100% work out for us. It doesn't work that way. It may not work out for us. So, Miz, if Felix actually hits his potential this season, he'll be worth all the money. I mean, this guy was slated to be the next greatest thing in football a few years ago. Yeah, fairs, man, fairs. I feel Felix should get required support and he himself has to improve his scoring, assist numbers. He hasn't been prolific in his career, but in some players we can see the talent. Yeah, fair enough. You're right. He hasn't been prolific, but hope it all changes. Miss Check Christian Folk. What's he saying? What's Mr. Christian Folk saying? True. Christian Folk drops evident transfer claims. Well, Sean Dyche lines up first signing. Yeah, I don't care about that. True. Chelsea have potential Potter replacement idea. This guy, honestly, I wouldn't trust this guy. This guy knows nothing about the Premier League, man. This guy just talks a lot of BS about the Premier League. He doesn't even get some of the Bundesliga stuff right. If anything, when it comes to Bayern Munich news, okay. But even some of the Bundesliga news, this guy's got no clue. I don't buy this. I mean, maybe there's some speculations, but we know as fans that the pressure will mount. If we don't pick up wins, the pressure will mount on Potter. But I'm not going to trust this guy and his true and his green tick. Chelsea a potential Potter replacement idea already knocked on sextuple. What's he saying, bro? Don't be talking about sex, man. This guy. Sextuple winning manager's door. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't trust this guy, man. Christian Folk, when it comes to when it comes to Premier League news, I do not trust him. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. Obviously, the press conference is coming up later, and we'll do a live. We'll do a live later tonight, UK time, approximately about 7:30 p.m. UK. We'll do the preview. We'll talk about Thiago Silva's contract extension in more details, and obviously we'll do the preview of the game, my lineup against West Ham, which is, you must, as they say, as Tobe says in Big Six, we must win. Yeah, I know what that means, man. Sextuple means 6 trophies. I know. I was just kidding. Yeah, I'm not stupid like that. Sometimes I may be, but not that time. Salamiz, just wanted to say that I have so much respect for international fans who have to wake up at crazy times. Also, I love the content. Smash a like button. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification. We've got over 300 people, only 23 more likes left for 100. It would be an absolute pleasure if we can get to 100 likes. Very easy. Smash the like button before you leave. And I shall see you guys later on tonight, UK time, for the preview of the West Ham game. Until then, take care. See ya.